The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show with me, Mitch Thunder Nellis, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Tommy Wirtz sporting his Jordan Love jersey as well, just celebrating in the afterglow of the NFL draft
jersey.
Ooh, that would be way better.
It could be Matt Flynn. Sure.
I thought it was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all,
Continue on, Mitch. I'm sorry.
Famous 10s in Green Bay Packers. There's a bunch of them, I bet. There's some 10s out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jake Shum.
We go down that list. But right now, as opposed to our normal, funny, friendly banter on a Monday, we got to get right into not number 10, but our favorite number 22. Because joining the show is from the Milwaukee Brewers, all-star outfielder, all-time community member, all-around everything, good guy, Christian Yelich on the Mason Crosby Show. Christian, how you doing?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
We're good here. It's really appreciate you jumping on. We're excited to showcase what you have coming up. Talk a little baseball and just kind of get into this Monday. This is usually a part of the show where we just catch up on the weekend and kind of go back and forth, make fun of Tommy a little bit. But I'm excited to jump in. So I got to ask you. You got your 4th annual Christian Yelich home plate charity concert coming up May 21st. I know that's a big thing that we want to talk about. So tell us about it and tell us, how people can get involved and what all y'all are going to do this year.
Yeah, you got it, guys. Thanks for having me. Our 4th annual home plate charity concert. The last few years have been a lot of fun. We had the Goo Goo Dolls last year. This year we've got the Nicotine Dolls opening with Isaac Slade, who used to be the former lead singer of The Fray, and Jake Owen after that. So we're excited. Charlie Barons will be there. A bunch of guys from the team will be there hanging out, and just people coming together for a night of fun, a lot of music, and to do some good in the community. So we're excited about it and very thankful that it's become an annual thing and something that we've been able to do over the years to give back and support the people that kind of support us throughout the year.
Christian Yelich joining us here on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. Christian, you're the 4th annual, and I often make fun of the concept when people say first annual, because I say, like, you have to say inaugural until you really get to the second one. But when you get to 4th annual, you've really arrived. What was the the impetus behind the idea of this concert and how it all came together, and how proud are you that it's still going strong and clearly going to go strong into the future?
Yeah. I think when you first start something like this, you don't really know how it's going to go, how it'll be received, how it'll all come together, people will support it or not. So we've been really fortunate that all those things have, panned out, and it's been something that we've been able to do over the years. And yeah, just really thankful for people coming out. It's gotten bigger every year. We're looking forward to this year and just trying to make it better, more fun, and have more people every single year. So it's been something that's been great, and we're excited to do again this year. And like you said, hopefully a few more years into the future.
Are there still tickets available? Can people go out there, get sponsorships, be a part of this thing?
Yeah, we still got tickets. If you go to yelly22concert.com, you can find tickets there, and still some available. It's at the Landmark Credit Union Live, the new concert venue here in Milwaukee. Nice. That we're excited to check out for the first time. And it's a little bit bigger than the one we've had in the past, so it allows more people to come out. And we're just excited for a really fun night. It's coming up quick. So, tickets are going quick, and we're just really excited for this year. It's May 21st. It's an off day for the team. So a bunch of the guys will be there. We'll be hanging out, having a good time, and trying to do some good as well.
Well, I was going to ask about that. So, like, with how the schedule works, the rare off days with all the games that y'all play, how soon are you able to select a date and decide, like, when can this happen? And, again, it has to be good for all the guys on the team. Like, I know whenever we'd have a charity event, there'd be a day off and like, hey, you get to go and you could chill and have a moment in the course of a season to take a breath. How important do you think that is for kind of that team camaraderie, all the things that, over these last 3 years, have you seen some benefit? Because I mean, we're gonna, I'll just say it, after this event last year, if it was at the same time frame, this is when Brewers got hot, come end of May and into summer. So maybe it's your event that just kickstarts, the run into summer for this Brewers team.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things go into picking the date, right? You have to get the schedule first, what our season is going to be looking like, find one that works, schedule-wise, not only for our team, but then, you have to find who's going to be performing that day and if it fits into their schedule, and then all the planning goes on. So it's kind of far out when the planning process begins. And, I'm very fortunate that a lot of the guys on the team attend because, like you said, we've got a busy schedule. We play almost every day. So when you do get a night off, those are rare. So for them to choose to spend it with us and come out to support some good causes is pretty special. And I'm really appreciative of them giving their time and want to make sure that it's a fun night for them and their families, and kind of get to have a night where, like you said, you get to enjoy, you get to relax, have some good music, and just be able to do your own thing for a night.
Yeah, Mason, you wouldn't really know about playing every day, so you don't know what that's like to get a day off.
Wouldn't know about playing like very many plays in a game. So I mean, I got once a week, and like maybe 5 to 10 plays.
You just scored points. That's all you did. Yeah. You were the point scorer. So Christian, talking about that, we've seen events over the years. I'd even go back, 10, 15, 20 years, whenever the Brewers have a day off and there's a charity event or something where a bunch of the guys are, it's always lots of fun to see the guys let their hair down a little bit. But you're in the middle of the season right now, and I know you're not there every day. So we'd love to get an update on how you're feeling, and what the rehab process looks like right now for you. Because as you know, Brewers fans are just like itching to get you and Jackson and Andrew and some of the power guys back in that lineup.
Yeah, I'm feeling better. Just doing my rehab process. I'm still a ways out, but just doing the day-to-day stuff to try to get better, get back out there as soon as I can. Andrew and Churio aren't too far away, so I know they're excited about that. And the guys have been doing their best to hold it down till everyone can get back. And this part of the season is still really early, so just give yourself a chance going into the summer and the rest of the season. So it'll be nice to get everybody healthy. It'll be nice I'll be excited to be back out there. Being hurt's no fun, and just having to sit and watch. So I'm excited to get back out there as soon as I can. And in the meantime, just, taking the rehab day to day.
Christian Yelich joining the Mason Crosby show. I gotta ask you about the mindset of playing a Major League Baseball season. Just how do you get yourself in a mindset to go through that rhythm of playing almost every day for almost half a year? What is kind of the mentality and the mindset that you feel like you've kind of learned, maybe morphed over the years, to be able to handle going through the course of a major league season?
Yeah, it's a lot. You got to commit yourself to it mentally and physically, and there's a lot of ups and downs throughout the year where sometimes things are going great and you don't want to get complacent and ride the high too high, and other times things aren't going good individually and team wise. And I think the more you do it, the more years you play, you understand all those things are going to happen throughout the year, and there's going to be some bright spots and some low spots. And I think as long as you don't react too far in one direction on either of those things are happening, and you don't start to change your process, you don't start to believe the noise either way, and you're just kind of process oriented, and you understand that this thing's going to be a grind, and it's the long haul. And as long as you're just giving yourself an opportunity and a chance as a team to like be in it at the end. Like that's all you can ask for. And we've done a good job over the years as a team of navigating those difficult stretches and, realizing that like they're going to be a part of the year and you just got to try to navigate them as best as you can.
Christians, Tommy Wirtz here. I wanted to ask off of that point, how much does a season like last season help you deal with a slower start maybe, or an average start, however you go with it, for a season like this year that you've seen, hey, we've gotten ourselves out of those rough patches, and it was way rough. The first 4 games, go point to last year, right? Everyone wanted to count everyone out after 4 games in New York.
Torpedo bats, Christian.
Yes, it took over everything. How do you try to channel? I know when we talk about this with other athletes, every year is different and you never want to quite compare years, but at least you have a taste of, we know what the mindset has to be to get out of these funks.
Yeah, I mean, look, last year after 4 games, everybody was freaking out, not on our team, but from the outside was freaking out. And I think we realized there's 158 games left of the season. So, you're not exactly close to running out of time, and 4 game stretches happen, but things are sensationalized either way. You win 4 in a row to start the year, then it's like everybody start buying World Series tickets. And if you lose 4 in a row, it's like, well, I guess the season's over and we'll just try again next year. That's the perception you get from the outside. But on the team, when you're on a team, you realize like the talent you have and what you're capable of, and have a better indication of like why things are going either way. And so, like I said earlier, it's just about understanding like what you're getting yourself into over the 6 months. And I've found like you just keep yourself in it the whole time. You're going to need a streak where you run off a pretty good win streak, whether, that's multiple like we had last year, and or if it's just like steady, consistent winning, which we've had years like that too. But yeah, you nailed it, where it's each team's its own team and each year's its own year. So just because it went that way for us last year doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen this year. And we had some pretty crazy streaks last year, which you don't really ever want to. You don't want to ever put yourself in a thing where you're counting on winning whatever it was, 30 out of 34 games or something crazy like that. So we don't want to go down that road. But I believe in the guys that we have on our team and think that we have a really good team, and we're going to be just fine, and we're not in a bad spot right now by any means. So, we're just in April. April doesn't really tell you anything about the season or the team one way or the other. So we still got a long 5 months ahead of us, and, looking forward to getting back out there with the guys for sure.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you about, I don't know how much attention you pay to the rest of the league or the rest of the division specifically, but it sure looks like the NL Central set to be a very competitive division all year. Is that something that motivates within a clubhouse? Is it like having that pace that's set by the rest of the division that helps you maybe, work a little bit harder each and every day? We know Murphy last year, it was all about win tonight. Let's just win tonight. Well, the rest of the division continues to win quite a bit, and the Brewers are trying to keep pace with that moment with a few guys out and injured right now. Is that something that you guys can not look at from a standings perspective, but just from a competitive nature of, hey, the rest of this division looks like it could be a problem this year. We got to push it harder each and every day.
No, I mean, we're just focused on ourselves. We don't really, it's April. You're not really spending time like looking at what other teams are doing. You're more kind of focused on finding your identity as a team and what you need to do at the beginning of the year to make sure that you're going to have a successful year. And, we do play in a good division. We know that. We've watched these teams continuously try to get better over the years, and they are getting better, and they've been in positions to get better. I knew they had a lot of good young players on the way. So it's a competitive division every year. I think it's a division that gets kind of written off nationally over the years, but it's very strong top to bottom. There's no bad team in it. So, you got to play well to win when you're playing in division. And it's going to be a division where it requires you to win a lot of games to be successful and be where you want to be at the end of the year. So that requires you to play pretty good throughout the 6 month season, and should be competitive down to the wire.
Man, I love it. So there are definitely some games that I played in my time there in Green Bay where I wish I could have reloaded and played another game the next day. So I don't know if that's in your mindset where whether it's good or bad in a game, you're like, all right, we got another one tomorrow, reset. You don't have a lot of time to ponder on things, think on things. You're just like, if it went bad in a game, we're playing tomorrow or we're traveling to another city and we got a double header or some sort of crazy thing is happening. You got to reset and refocus all the time. And I got to think that was something that was innate in you, or do you think you have to train yourself as a baseball player to be able to have that mindset and that mentality, or did you naturally have some of that growing up?
No, I mean, I think you just get used to it. You're not on that schedule really growing up or anything like that. It's just once you get to the big leagues, like that's just a reality of the situation, and you have to be able to. Yeah, you just have to be able to flush it, good or bad, and learn that like this is what you're doing and how to navigate a long year. And for young players, it's difficult sometimes when you kind of lose sight of how long the season really is and how well you have to play for a long period of time if you want to have a good season as a player. Or if you're going to have a bad season, it takes a really long time for you to do that too. You have to play bad for a few months to ensure that you're going to have a bad season. So, it's one of those things in baseball where nothing happens fast. The game, the season, you're in it for the long haul either way. So, as a team, as a player, like you have to do things well for a really long period of time to get where you want to be. And same is said for, being bad. You have to play bad for an extended period of time to ensure that you're going to have a bad season as a team or a player. So once you kind of accept that and understand that your process is kind of going to drive the results of your season, I think the easier it becomes to play and understand that like this is what you signed up for. So it's gonna be a long year, it's gonna be a long season, and you just have to learn how to get through that as best as possible.
All right. I think we got a couple more questions for you. I do want to go back to the charity event because I was just thinking about it, and I don't know if you answered this, but what kind of got you into let's do a concert? Because I think that's such a great idea. Where we have golf events, we have charity softball games, we have all these things, but a concert is just so fun. Everybody can come out, have a good time. I think you get the juices flowing, like, everybody's doing silent auction items, all those things. What made you decide to go that route with this charity event?
I wanted people to have a good time when they came out. I didn't want it to be something that, like this, nothing against it, but you go to like a charity and you go to dinner and you got to listen to a bunch of speeches and that whole stuff. Like, yeah, it's doing good, but sometimes it's just different, right? Like having a concert, I thought people would come out, do some good in the community, and also have a really good time and have it be something that people look forward to. And it was just kind of a different kind of charity aspect. And that was really the goal. But it was just to have everybody have fun and have it be something that everybody looked forward to every year and had a good time when they're at it.
Awesome. Christian Yelich joining us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. And as we wrap things up, again, I go back to that concept of last year where it was like, win tonight and play every game. And we're watching the Brewers, and I know Murph a couple times this year has told the fans to chill out. But I know that he, and I know you as well, Christian, love the passion of the fans. But what do you say to fans who I know we had, there was the booing of Trevor McGill, or not of McGill personally, but just of the situation on the field, and blowing one game, which is obviously going to happen in 162 games. How do you balance as a player kind of the fanaticism of fans that you want them, to go crazy and to have your back, and that, that sometimes fans are going to be crazy because that's what fans are?
Yeah, I mean, I think fans are entitled to feel however they want to feel. You're a fan, you get the right to feel however you want to feel about players' performances on and off the field. And look, we've created a really high standard here of winning over the last 8-9 years with the Brewers, and fans hold the team to that high standard now. And it's a privilege to have created an environment and a culture of winning where it's expected not only from the team but from the fan base. And all of us on the team hold each other and ourselves to a really high standard of winning. We're not happy when we're losing either. So kind of understand the frustration in those moments and how fans feel. And like I said, when you're a fan, you buy a ticket, you're entitled to feel any way you want when you're at the game. And we understand that as players, and it's just part of the thing that you sign up for, right?
Man, that's
Love
well
that.
said. I
Love
love
that.
that mentality for sure. All right, I got one last question for you before we let you go, Christian. I really appreciate you jumping on and taking this time. I had brought this up about young guys and rookies and like expectation, right? And they're in the locker room in Green Bay whenever a rookie would come in. You kind of, from our perspective, it was like, all right, let's build them up. Let's try to get them going in a direction. But you almost kind of you lower your expectations and you let them surprise you with their play and their performance and all of that. Is there some of that in baseball as well? We've been talking in the expectation with Mizorowski, a young pitcher, and some of these guys. Do you allow yourself just to you keep building them up, teaching them the expectation of the team and of the organization, and then do you just allow yourself to be like surprised when they go out there and perform and not have like that pressure and expectation on your teammates, especially rookies and young guys, because they got a lot of weight on their shoulders already?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that honestly has kind of been impressive being here in Milwaukee, is that you rely on the young player and the rookies to contribute to winning teams, because that's just how our teams are constructed. But at the same time, like, it's hard to succeed at this level right away, just because there's so many new things and the level of competition. You can't really replicate that in any other league until you're here, let alone with the schedule, the travel, the pressure, the day-to-day of things. It's just all different once you're in the major leagues. But guys have done a really good job of being able to adapt and contribute. And, I think the veteran guys on the team have established a really good culture here that allows guys to be themselves and kind of just fit in and contribute in their own way to wins. And guys have caught up to speed really well. They're obviously really talented kids and have done a really good job. And we count on them. We rely on them to have success. And they're just put in really big moments. And they've found a lot of success in those moments. And it's been fun to watch. And, once those guys gain confidence with the talent that they have, the results are kind of what you see.
Awesome. Christian Yelich, Brewers left fielder, DH. Can't wait till he gets back into the lineup, provide a little pop for this lineup that is still over 500 and doing good things on the field. Christian, I'm going to leave you with an easy one. Egg and Flour, Black Shoe Hospitality, Birch, Sanford, La Dama, Modern Maki, the Trade Hotel, Aggie's Bakery. What are you I can't leave the interview without asking a question about food, right, guys? What are you Christian? What are you most looking forward to eating at the concert on the 21st?
I think a little bit of everything. We got a lot of really good local restaurants coming out to support, providing some really good food. Chef Adam has done a great job in getting everybody to come out and organizing that, aspect of the night. And there's a lot of really good, talented chefs in Milwaukee, and gotten to know a lot of them over the years. So we're thankful for them coming out. I think, I'm excited to try a little bit of everything. I can't pick just one. That wouldn't be fair to everybody that's coming out, but very appreciative of their time and their contributions, and just really excited to seeing them, musical artists, all the people that come out to support tonight, and looking forward to having a lot of fun with everybody.
That was a good PR answer, Christian. Good PR. Yeah.
Well,
Nicely done.
We appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, Christian. Thanks so much for taking the time today. We wish you a speedy recovery, and we can't wait till we see you on the field again.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you later. Appreciate you.
Yep. There is Christian Yelich, who did confirm that he's still a little ways away.
Yeah.
As we expected, when the initial injury happened, 4 to 6, and we're only a couple weeks into that. So hopefully by the time we get to his charity concert, which is about 4 weeks away, he'll be about ready to get back into. How about he shows up and then I activated off the list the next day in homers. How about that?
I mean,
that's
the plan.
But May 22nd? Can I pencil in a home run for Christian?
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be great.
let's
Hey, way
put
to start a
something on
Monday,
that.
boys. Way to
Yeah,
start a Monday.
let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
go.
do it.
Yeah.
We didn't even
We
talk
go,
draft
Yelich.
yet.
But
Let's
we're
go,
about
Yelich.
to. And Mason, we have a brand new segment that we're unveiling. I don't know if we're going to do it today, but like we're going to start doing it every day, starting whenever. Maybe we'll let you know about it.
We just
next.
have a title
Yeah.
for the
I
segments
love,
of our
I
show
love
now.
surprises
Yes.
on my show.
I know,
here.
isn't
Yeah,
it the
I
best?
love when I get surprised.
He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. Again, thank you to Christian Yelich for joining us on the Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. We are the Mason Crosby Show. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here. And thanks again to Christian Yelich for jumping on, talking about his charity concert on May 21st. Tickets still available. Yelly22concert.com, I believe it was. I wrote it down. And now I have a broad, yeah. Always fun to catch up with Yelly. It lost it. I wrote it down, and now I lost it, and I'm old, and that's just the way it is. We've got a new number 2 in Green Bay. Breaking news. You saw that, Mace. You okay with that? With the top draft pick of the Green Bay Packers this year, grabbing number 2?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to score more points than me, so
Oh,
let's go!
That was from the top rope.
That was top rope.
I did.
Do I get royalties on any jersey sales? Like, what if they just kind of mix it up and it's like, oh, okay, like they can send me a couple.
I don't know. Does Malik
pennies?
Does Malik also get? Does he also get royalties then?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
You gotta have it for. I think you gotta at least get credit. Like you gotta have 3+ years in the.
Oh, I like that.
Andy Herman did put out his official grades of Packers jersey numbers of the upcoming class. Brandon Cease wearing number 2, Chris McClellan wearing number 55, DDS wearing 51, Jagger, I think it is Jagger officially. Wearing 52, by the way.
Well, yeah, I mean,
wow.
they just replace people.
Yeah,
so
52
fast.
is going. You knew 52.
Numbers are not like a prized possession in the Green Bay organization for certain.
Domani Jackson's wearing number 20, and Trey Smack is wearing number 28. Andy Herman did not give out an A+ except for Brandon Cease. He gave A+ to the number 2. Your first thoughts on Andy Herman saying it's a great number choice for Brandon
We're going to
Cease?
talk to him about it.
Yeah. It is absolutely a great number.
I mean, that's a great number for a corner. I like that number for a DB.
Yeah.
28's an interesting one.
And you're kind of a DB
for the old kicker.
Like you were a DB.
I'll tackle some.
You got a little Seahorn in you. Yeah.
Oh, he grew up playing DB. Oh man, white DBs.
Yeah.
So the new segment that we want to do, that we want to unveil here on the Mason Crosby Show, is Talking Smack with Mason Crosby.
Okay.
With the new kicker, and just
talking smack.
Just talking smack.
All right.
With new kicker Smack.
I got a feeler out there, so hopefully we'll get him on at some point. But yeah, where you guys? I mean,
I've been hit up about from 35 people to do interviews, obviously about the new kicker, and what I'll say is, hey, don't be like these other 5-6 young guys that they brought in. Like, I'm here if you wanna ask me about playing in Green Bay, because McManus did it as a veteran when he came in.
Yeah.
He picked my brain. He was like, hey, can we just talk about some of the stuff? It's like, that is a veteran move. Like you go to a new place, somebody that's been before you, reach out a little bit.
Do you feel for McManus? Because it feels like the writing's on the wall, right? You don't trade up for a kicker.
I mean, there's
definitely competition.
It's hard to imagine. It'll be interesting to see what this how this offseason unfolds. Like once they report back all that. I'm sure McManus has in his deal some workout bonuses. If he's missed time before in the offseason, I'd probably advise him not to miss this offseason if he wants to have a shot at keeping this job. But they do have more structure now, in the roster where they can keep a guy around, right? Yeah. They carried 2 kickers a lot last year. They do it more often than they did whenever I was playing before this new CBA. So I wouldn't just say it's a foregone conclusion that this young guy is going to be the guy. They did give McManus $1 million, but I also said, I think I said this to y'all, that $1 million, say if that's all that's guaranteed, if McManus, if they feel good going into a season with Smack, then now you're just paying him $1 million plus, it's all right, 175 or whatever his number is. And for a starting kicker that you feel confident with, that's kicking in the NFL, that's not a crazy number to be paying somebody, right?
I mean, they do have to sell 4,000 pieces of paper to recoup that $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean
they'll get that pretty easy.
Yeah,
they'll make up some new hot dog that they'll sell at the stadium that's stuffed with all kinds of other things.
what are some first reactions? Maybe we'll take it into another segment here, but we got a few minutes still, obviously. Like, it felt like this maybe is the most satisfied I've ever been with a draft on paper than I've ever had in my life with the Green Bay Packers. I mean, everything was exactly documented positional needs we had talked about. They went out and got guys they liked at positions they needed to fill, and they went doubled up on corner. First pick was on corner, and they didn't go and do anything crazy like get a running back after the draft totally fell off on running back and go out and get a wide receiver when they just extended Jaden Reed, of course, over the weekend too.
Yeah, that was crazy. We didn't even talk about that.
You're just mixing the topics, Tommy.
I can do what I want.
I know. Don't get my mind going all over the place.
I was gonna say,
it'll just start.
Teach him how to do radio.
Yeah, I'll just start
do we
going.
need to do radio now?
Oh, you know what really helps is going and talking off of topic of radio too. Then on top of it,
exactly.
Do you know?
How'd you know?
I think one of the best picks. I love the Brandon C. Is it Cease?
Cease.
Yeah, Cease. The McClellan, a great pick, and Goody's comments around him I thought were awesome too. He was just like, we had like some of these other guys because they're like, why did you take him? There were maybe some better graded guys in some people's minds, and he's like, he does all three things that we want him to do. Like, so that's always their mindset, right? Like, be versatile, be able to do a lot of things, and so it's like, hey, if we want him to run, stop, and two gap, he can do that. If we need him to split and go rush the passer, feel good about a guy like this doing that. And then the guy that I think is going could be really good and maybe a little bit of a steal is the Dennis Sutton, the edge.
Dude, people love him
really
right
good
now.
about that pick. Yeah, that was a great pickup. And then just solid. I mean, you get the center guard, a good backup there, a young guy. And then the kicker, he was the top-rated kicker in this draft. If he's there and available and you're still kind of trying to figure out if McManus can rebound, if he's going to stay healthy and all those things, why not take a 6th-round pick, a flyer on that if you didn't feel like there were any other guys that you just wanted? Because they were releasing guys in the draft that were on their roster to create spots.
Right.
Did y'all see that through the weekend? I think 3 or 4 players were got released from the Packers as they were because their roster's pretty heavy right now. So they don't want to just add players and use draft capital if they're going to have to cut those guys anyways.
Is it weird that they traded up for the kicker though? Do you think they just were like, hey, nobody else is really draft quality left, so we might as well just go get him, and then who cares what happens the rest of the draft?
That's why I feel like flyer seems like an unfair word to smack. They pool together picks, and we know how much Goody loves picks, Crosby.
Yeah,
but not this year.
They must love this guy. The fact that he got to the 6th round, they must just be like, hey, you got to have this guy on your roster. If he's as good as he appears to be, that is the Packer way. They're going to go get guys that they feel like are quality players and that could give them a chance to win. So if McManus is not going to be that guy, if he proves that he, last year was not just a blip on the radar, then this guy is going to take over the reins. But he also has to prove it, right? I don't believe that with this draft and drafted players now, they're not just handed the job, especially in Green Bay. I mean, you got to go out there and earn it. Well,
and McManus is still there, so it's not like
he's going to have a chance to. And again, like I said, the smack, he might need a year. They might not move on from McManus, and we all have to be okay with that. If McManus shows that he is still a quality veteran kicker, it's not bad like you do at quarterback position. Maybe they're looking at it that now. They're like, hey, we got a veteran kicker here. If he stays and he's the guy, we can develop this young guy under him, give him a chance to kind of figure it out. And then we let McManus go and bring this guy, into the fold. So I don't think it's a bad mentality to use a late round draft pick. I know everybody's probably like, oh gosh, you traded picks to get a kicker. If this guy proves to be really good, you're going to be like, wow, that's actually some real value to get him late in the 6th round and having to only give up a couple picks.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line here on the Mason Crosby Show. 414-677-1250. Just before we get to break here, Mason, Jaden Reed was signed to a contract extension on Friday. 3 years, $50.25 million extension. So basically almost $17 million a year. And what was your reaction to that? And do you think that's a fair number for him? Do you think, how does that impact Watson or Kraft or anybody else? What did you think about that?
I think it's just Packers positioning themselves to have the opportunity to sign Watson and Kraft if when the time comes. So they just needed to slot Jaden Reed in here and get a deal done. And honestly, if he comes back and he plays like at a super high level next year, you're going to think that's a value, right? Like that you're going to be like, the Packers got a value on this guy. But I think at that number, it's just like if he is a solid number 2, I think you're going to feel pretty good. And it's never bad to have a guy that you trust, that wants to be there, that has a relationship with your quarterback. You give him a little bit of money and you go, hey, we got your back. You go and play for us and let's go win a championship. So I thought the deal was great. I did not expect it in this time, but
right.
The deal was great. And I think for him, it gives it confidence. You do it before the draft, before you're getting anybody. You're like, hey, we're not drafting a wide receiver. We're not going to try to find someone to replace you. Like, you're going to be one of our guys, and we want you to help us carry this thing forward.
414-677-1250. Again, the Nicolay Law Talking text line. We got a couple minutes when we come back. We'll touch on the Brewers. We'll touch on some more football things that happened in the NFL universe, because, fun things happen.
Fun things do happen.
Yeah.
You see the Texas Tech news coming out right now too, guys?
Is that the quarterback?
Yeah, Crosby.
Gambling? There's some gambling news. Andy Herman at the top of the 1 o'clock hour as well. This is the Mason Crosby Show.
Business ethics.
This is the Mason Crosby Show.
Tennessee Queen.
I'm Mitch Nellis.
Stuff is interesting.
What was that, Mace?
This Brendan Sorsby stuff is fascinating. It's right up our alley.
Before we get to Sorsby, I think Brandon, I do think it's Cisse.
Yep. Cisse. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry, I think we said Cisse.
Yeah, we said Cisse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I asked you and you told me.
And he confirmed it.
Didn't pay attention.
I was testing you.
To be honest.
Tommy.
I knew it was Cisse,
Tommy,
100%.
It is too early to be drinking on a Monday.
I know.
Relax, bro.
I actually just got a refill, so it's gonna get better. Yeah.
Love that. Real quick, because I do this every Monday and I don't care if you guys hate it. I'm doing it every Monday, and that's
Mitch's
just what
power
it is.
rankings.
Mitch's power rankings.
Right. Rank 'em.
Actual standings. The Brewers are tied for last in the NL Central. They're 14-13, tied with the St. Louis Cardinals, 3.5 games out of first place. Your wild card standings, the Milwaukee Brewers are only 1.5 out of a wild card spot
in the hunt.
and
In
they've
the
got
hunt.
the Diamondbacks coming to town. They are the team directly in front of them.
Wow. They
in the
control their
wild
own
card
destiny.
So this is really exciting as we look at what we got. Sprout, Patrick, then Sprout,
And
then Woody,
Yeah.
as your 3 starters. I don't know if I love 3 righties who are just kind of like, I don't love that.
Hey,
threesome.
if this
I
team's
don't love
not
that
if this
threesome.
team's not securely in the wild card spot by the start of May, like
I know.
we're
we got
on like missing
Right.
playoff watch.
we got
Yeah.
till Friday.
Watch. It's all
We're on the
watch.
watch.
Kyle Harrison, Mitch, he's awesome, right? Why did Boston
yeah.
give him up for nothing?
Because Boston is stupid.
Mm,
Although they fired everybody. You see that?
that was crazy.
They win 17-1.
Yeah, what was that?
Well,
What-
It was already done Friday. Like they had made the
Just like-
decision Friday that they were doing it after the game Saturday, no matter
so
what.
crazy.
Then they win 17-1, including Caleb Durbin's first home run of the year,
Mm.
There you go.
including a grand slam by Andrew Monasterio.
Was there a
Oh,
position
those-
player pitching?
Those guys can hit home runs.
Yeah, the Brewers don't hit home runs. That's
Oh,
a problem. It's
yeah.
a problem.
When was the last time they hit a home run?
They've hit
I mean,
one in the last 11 games.
That's what
I
I'm
believe.
like,
That's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, they've gone 7 games in a row without a homer. It's the longest stretch since 1999. It's
They're gonna,
a big
they're
problem.
Gonna, they're going to make the playoffs
Like,
this
someone
year
hit
with
one
like
out.
42 home runs.
They
this
are.
season.
It's
You're not wrong,
brutal.
Mace.
And one of us has a wager with another one of us for a steak dinner on the Brewers hitting 180 homers. Is that what it was?
I don't know. Do you want 80?
80 homers
Do you
would be
think they're
rough. I don't even know if
80?
they're going to get to 80
Yeah,
at
that's
this
gonna be
point.
tough.
I think they have 19 through 27 games. Like that just isn't even
Oh.
possible. The fact that they're 14-13 is incredible. When you say that.
That
They're
is the
grinding.
amazing part. Like again, like we rant and rave, and they're not. They get almost perfect games by Skeens and all these things, and they're still over 500 with all this mess. If Churio and if what's it the first Vaughn and if Yelich come back healthy, and this team's 14-13 now.
Yeah.
If Uribe cannot suck,
Also,
he might be Uribe might be bad.
can we officially give Jake Blowers? I was going to say Jake Bowers his flowers for being a legit
Jake
baseball
Blowers.
player.
Absolutely.
Because he's the only guy who can get a hit every
He's
day on
making
this
a
team.
name for himself.
Yeah, they should sign Terang now while he's in this slump too.
I don't think
258 he's hitting right now. Yeah, let's
Which is
sign him.
swag.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy
Sign
that
him.
he's down to that.
He might be washed, guys. Could be a bad deal.
could be washed.
So go ahead, sign him now. Oh, I love it.
Unbelievable. Oh, somebody get a hit. They have an off day today, so we'll see what happens. Andy Herman, our very, very good friend, he's going to join us. He gave Cisse an A+ for his jersey pick because it's just all love for Mason Crosby on the Mason Crosby Show.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, He
We
just
are.
wants to see that jersey.
Exactly. Andy Herman's
keep it
next. It's the Mason Crosby Show.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app. It's time to talk about the Pack with Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis. Presented by Verizon, the official 5G provider of the Green Bay Packers on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
You tried to get cute.
I
tried to get cute
I
with
did try to get
You
cute.
tried to get cute with it, Mitch.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. Mason Crosby's here. And that music can only mean one thing. Andy Herman. Hi, Andy. How you doing?
What's up?
Fellas, I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Good. By the way, it is high noon in
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake City. Is Salt Lake City
Mountain time?
Mountain
Probably.
time?
Probably.
All I know is Boulder and Denver and all the Colorado towns.
It's Santa Fe. Santa Fe is mountain time.
Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah, Aurora.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll give Aurora, Colorado today.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Andy Herman joining us here from the Pack-A-Day podcast.
Hi, Andy.
You are on trial for giving an A+ grade to Brandon Cisse's number 2 uniform.
Yeah,
I will
explain.
allow you to plead your case right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. You know how Michigan honors players by giving their best players numbers of former players? So they actually were. This is a monument or like an honor for who they expect to be the best special teams tackler in 2026.
There
So
it is.
Because of Mason's
Amazing.
epic ability as a special teams tackler through the years, the person who they expect to be that in the next season, they're going to give number 2 from now on. So there you go.
Oh man, I love that.
That was
what
awesome.
a spin! What a spin you just had there. Let's hope that he's he makes more tackles and better tackler
dude,
than I am.
we cannot let Cisse force a fumble on Cordell Patterson. We just cannot let that happen.
Can't let that happen.
That would be tragic for the
Gosh.
show's brand.
I know. That's all I have, guys. That's all I have.
Nice.
That gives me at least a little bit of football credibility. But Andy, let's dive into the weeds a little bit here with this. From all a lot of vantage points, this was a very well-crafted draft weekend for this Packers team. Do you think some of that though, I've been thinking a little bit, do you think some of that comes because they didn't have a first-round draft pick? And it's our lens of how we see it. It's oh man, we got some good solid pieces. These guys, maybe some value at some of them, but we didn't have that first-round pick. Or maybe that first-round pick is still thinking we have Micah Parsons. So it's add Micah Parsons to this list of draft picks in a sense. And you're well, this is a great draft.
Yeah, expectations are a jerk sometimes. If you have there are seasons where if the Packers would have been a 7 seed and maybe missed the playoffs for the first time, this is obviously a while back, but that could be a successful season. But when you're expected to be a Super Bowl contender, a 7 seed and a first round exit looks pretty crappy. When you don't have, or when you have a first round pick and you pick a player that maybe fans aren't a big fan of, the expectations that come along with that are high. And then you sort of lower those expectations when you draft a player and people are upset. I think sometimes when you don't have those expectations going in of they don't have a first round pick, I could tell even around Packers Nation, it didn't have the same buzz ahead of the draft of people being so excited for it and hyping themselves up. They didn't have a pick until 52, but then you could tell Friday came along and right on that Friday, you could tell people were getting excited a little bit more about the draft. And then I think what was really helpful, again, not having those expectations, but I think this was one of the ones where Goody just really stuck to needs. Everybody had talked about for all the time leading up to the draft. Boy, it'd be nice if they could get a corner, a nose tackle, an edge rusher, some offensive line depth. And they literally went right down the line and they grabbed the corner. They grabbed another one later, defensive tackle with their second pick. Then they go and get the edge rusher and then the offensive lineman right after that. So I think sticking to the positions of need, getting players where there wasn't a crazy, who the heck is that guy? They took him 100 spots too early. What was going on? I think you add all those things up, and I think it was a very satisfying draft for Packers fans.
Yeah. I mean, I've been hearing one of the more exciting players out of this draft for this Packers squad. People are high on this Damani Jackson, as a corner late guy, great touted high school player, maybe just didn't do everything that was expected in college, but has all the tangibles. And the hope is, okay, we can tap into that and get him and a special teams guy. Like the hope whenever you bring a guy like that in that can run and is physical, then they do go and help that special team. So who in this draft are you most excited about? Like, is there like which one of these players kind of gets your juices flowing?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just talk to Monty Jackson for a second, because I do think this is the exact type of player that you're looking for in the 6th round. And usually these players, they're going to have to make it first on special teams. They're not going to be handed any job. They're not going to be given a starting cornerback role. So you better be able to help out on special teams. And the fact that he has that going for him is not only going to help him make the team, but probably be active on game days. You get active on game days and all of a sudden a corner goes down, you get your opportunity. And if you can make the most of it, that's where you get some of these 6th round picks that end up being pretty darn good players for you. Not to mention he was a all everything player coming out of high school, one of the very, very top recruits coming out of high school. Didn't get targeted much last year, only 21 times. He only allowed 135 yards in total in yardage this past season. Super athletic freak, was a track guy coming up and again, can run super fast. He's a very willing tackler, takes some bad angles from time to time. Again, this is the exact type of guy and a fit very much for Jonathan Gannon's defense and a very Packers-y type draft pick with the high-end athletic traits as well. So kind of everything that you're looking for at this point in the draft. And I'd have to say, for a player that I really liked, I know, Denai Dennis Sutton is somebody that a lot of people have talked about. This is an interesting sort of journey for me because people were talking about him in the 2nd round. And I'm like, oh, no. I'm not okay with that. And then people were like, well, what about the 3rd round? I'm like, I think I'm okay with Denai Dennis Sutton in the 3rd. That's a pretty good value there. But then you get him in the 4th, and now I'm doing cartwheels because that is a wonderful player to get in the 4th. It's such an interesting player because you watch his tape, and I don't think it matches the athletic profile. I don't think it's super flat. There's a couple of plays here and there that make you go, holy crap. But if you look at just the down to down, it doesn't always feel like he's quite living up to maybe the expectations of the high-end profile that's there. But then you get to the 4th round, and you take a guy that is a complete athletic freak who is playing in the Big Ten, who was fantastic in his entire career at productivity, getting a ton of pressure. He had over, I think it was like 125 pressures. He had a bunch of sacks in college, and I think 8.5 the last couple seasons. If you get a guy like that that's got no off-field red flags, no injury issues, played in the Big Ten, super productive with an insane athletic profile, that's 6'6" and has insane arms, like that's a late 1st, early 2nd round profile. So I don't care if I'm like super enthralled when I'm watching the tape. If you get that type of player in day 3, I mean, sign me up for that every single time. And Justice Mosqueda points out too, who does a fantastic job of like charting these edge rushers over the years. Like this type of profile for a edge rusher hits like almost every time. It is a extremely high success rate for this type of player. So you have to love that again in round 4.
Mason, how excited did you just get?
I'm juiced. Every time Andy talks about does his little scouting report, I get psyched up I'm ready for the season. Let's just get him out on the field right now.
Especially when it's the good kind. It's not like, oh, this guy was slated as a 4th rounder and the Packers picked him in the 2nd round. That's right. Like, what are we doing? But when it's the opposite, It's like, oh, baby, maybe they got something here.
Well, I think that's why this draft hits like everybody the right way, because it's like you got that guy in the 4th round. Like you're feeling they just kind of checked all the boxes. And so nobody can look at this and just like throw holes and questions all over the place. Maybe, I guess, and Tommy's a little disgusted that they traded picks to go and, get the kicker. So, and we'll get to that. But I do think that they kind of just address needs and, put in some good pieces. And I think I was saying they were releasing some guys as they were trying, because they have a pretty full roster. So they had to kind of make some moves to make way for these new additions.
So Mason, I don't know if I'm allowed to hijack the show, but I'm going to try for a moment. I have no idea how to scout a kicker. So I'm going to ask you, like, what did you watch? Yeah. Other than Brian Gutekunst.
Apparently Goody. Yeah. Like that was interesting.
So you tell me,
I don't know who in that building is scouting is like in charge of scouting the kickers?
I'm sure it's the special teams coordinator. Cause I mean, it would be basically Bisaccia. He was the one who basically chose Anders Carlson. I don't think even like Goody wants to get his hands dirty in like the kid. I think they just completely, I don't think any coach has as much say. I mean, they obviously don't get a kicker, punter, long snapper, draft pick very often, but if you're going to take one, I don't think any coach gets as much say as the special teams coordinator in those situations.
Yeah. But I'm also like, is he in that room saying like, hey, we got to get this guy? And Goody's like, all right, we'll trade two picks
I don't know.
go get him. Like, I feel like that's like kind of a, in a sense, a reach, but it's also, he was the number one graded kicker in this draft. Like he's the best kicker in this draft. He hadn't gone drafted. If you don't think you're going to add value in that 7th round or in that area, why go and just get somebody that you're going to have to maybe release or figure something out with? Like, get a guy that can go and compete right now and maybe bolster that position for a long time to come here.
I would also add on top of that, I'd be willing to bet. I think if they kept those 2 7th round picks, first of all, I think their top choice would have been if the kicker fell, if Smack falls, that's going to be their choice. If he's not, I would be willing to bet you the 2 picks that they make there are probably a couple of the guys that they signed in undrafted free agency and just got started there, because there were a couple of those guys that I think they actually legitimately really liked. And I just think they draft them there to make sure that they can get them. I think it cost them nothing because I think they got the same guys they would have got in undrafted free agency anyway. So they moved the 2 7th round picks. They get the kicker for sure. I don't, in that situation, in a draft like this, I really don't think there's a cost to that.
And we're trying to get him on the show here at some point this week. So we'll see if that works out. But, the concern always is SEC, and, everyone's going to compare this draft to the Anders Carlson one. But, I mean, this kid's productivity speaks for itself. I mean, he had a really good career there at Florida. Hits a great ball. Like when I watch him, it's like he has all the skill set to go and get the job done. Carlson kind of had that weird, he was a little more straight on vertical, a lot of movement with his ball. Like this Smack doesn't look to have any of that. So, and time will only tell, but you come to Green Bay, and I know he said, he was like, I grew up in Maryland. Like I'm used to, I'm like, I do want to tell him Maryland's not Green Bay.
That's not the same.
So that is not the same, but at least the mindset's there. Like, hey, I'm gonna adapt and deal with whatever's coming, and that's what you have to do whenever you're in that position, especially in Green Bay.
The other thing too is, so Mason, you can speak to this better than anybody. Mason, how many years did you play for the Packers in total?
16.
Okay, 16 years. How many people survived you from the time that you came to Green Bay to the time that you ended your career in Green Bay? How many people in that organization were still there by the time that you were drafted, by the time that you were in? If this kid, hits, he could survive Goody. He could survive Matt LaFleur. He could survive, like if he's a 15, 16 year kicker for Green Bay, it could be like, he could survive, the president and CEO. It might be like some random scout or something and him that are the only ones that are still there.
The equipment guys were pretty much the same. The equipment and training staff were the only ones that it might be were there before and were there whenever I left. Yes.
So you can legitimately get a 15, 16 year player at that point in the draft. You can't say that about any other position, potentially. So to spend a late 6th round pick, obviously you have to hit on it. It's not that rare. It could be another Anders Carlson or a Brett Conway. Those did not work out as well. But if you hit on another Mason Crosby, sure, you get a 14, 15, 16 year kicker. And like I said, he might survive almost everyone that's in the organization right now.
Well, I think he's coming into a really good, a good situation, right? Where it's a tough situation, but it's good for his development. To prove that he's ready to be in that role, because you have Brandon McManus, who you have given $1 million already in a signing bonus, so they have some skin in the game, and there'll be some dead money if they ended up moving on from him. So they have to really be and do their due diligence there. And Lucas Haversick, I don't know, did they really he's still on the roster?
He's
right?
still there. I have a feeling that might not be for long, but we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't make it through this time, just to kind of continue that that pushing and that competition.
If you're Lucas
building.
Haversick, though, I think Tim and his agent have to be like,
you're
all
going
right,
to get,
you have no chance. You're not. If Lucas Haversick makes this team over the guy they gave $1 million roster bonus to, and a guy they traded up 2 picks to get in the 6th round, I think that would be one of the biggest upsets in the history of roster management. So if I'm his agent, I'm probably saying today, all right, guys, the writing's on the wall. Let's see if we can find Lucas another home to go compete somewhere else.
That's a good point. Yeah. But I just think he gets to go and compete with a veteran that, is fighting for his, his job as well, with what happened last year and proving that he can bounce back and he's, can stay healthy and do all of those things. So Packers have to feel, and like fans, we have to feel pretty good that this kicking position should be better this year than it was last year. Like there is going to be a positive because these guys are going to compete, and the best is going to come out on top and have their shot to go and lead at that position. So I think that's a good place to come into. And I know I've benefited from that coming in and like having to compete like every day as a 6th round draft pick with a guy that had been there, and they weren't sure if they were fully, going to move on from him. I think those things are beneficial in that position for sure.
Is that Dave Rayner? Who was that?
Dave Rayner, yeah. Wow, look at you.
Sicko.
What a mind.
Love it.
Andy, we haven't talked a whole lot about McClellan. And I know that it felt like he was maybe one of the more polarizing, like Dominique Orange was still there. I know a lot of people were a big Citrus guy. Was he kind of your top choice in that market for defensive tackle at that spot for Green Bay? Or, Goody had nothing but good things to say about him, saying how he feels the versatility plays very well into their defensive scheme that we have no idea what's going to be because Gannon won't talk to anyone. But I just wanted a little synopsis on defensive tackle there in the 3rd round.
He literally just got a whole new defense, and we still didn't hear.
Right. I love how everybody on Thursday and Friday was like, well, if they pick 2 defensive guys Friday, he's got to talk, right?
How do you draft a corner and then not have a press conference like in the 2nd round with your defensive coordinator?
I was willing to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because they redid their media room and everything. I'm like, maybe they're just waiting to. But Goody talked in the backup room before that, so you can do that. It is absolutely crazy, but neither here nor there.
Is there a chance he doesn't exist? Is he AI and the whole system's down right now?
Did he get set on fire from it starting in his gut and then it just ablaze like
Jonathan Gannon? They're just like, oh, he's up in the box, but they never show him at the games. He's just a computer system and a program. Somebody has to picking these defenses.
Somebody has to complete the entire Triforce before you're allowed to see Gannon. That's going to hit for maybe one person out there, but for any Legend of Zelda players, you're welcome.
Legend of Zelda.
Going back to Chris McClellan. All right, so the day or a few days before the draft, I put together my most likely players to be picked by the Packers, and McClellan was on that list for me, and I kind of give a whole tirade, not tirade, but he could easily be the 3rd round pick for the Packers. And he just had everything that they sort of look for. They love their versatile pieces. And Goody's talked about on numerous occasions, we don't like just a run stuffing player. We like somebody that can do a little bit of everything. And that's Chris McClellan. So he very much, was a Packers-y type pick when you looked at him. The one thing else, I would have taken Dominique Orange personally. Doesn't really matter. Nobody cares. But what I would say is I do think Dominique Orange is maybe not getting quite the credit that he probably deserves for also having some of that pass rush ability because he played at Iowa State and they asked him just to, basically be that nose tackle, and he didn't get much opportunity. When he did get some opportunity to actually rush the pass, I thought he looked pretty good at it. So I wouldn't have put him necessarily in that category. But what I would say here is this is not a Josh Myers, Creed Humphrey thing. This is not a Kevin King, TJ Watt thing. I think these 2 players are in the exact same neighborhood of players. Now, if you're watching the NFL draft, both Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kiper had McClellan rated ahead of Dominique Orange. Again, somebody likes chocolate, somebody likes vanilla. They're both in the same category. It's a different flavor of player. I think overall Green Bay did a good job here, and I do think there's a good chance if Green Bay didn't move up. There were 2 defensive tackles that were taken, including Dominique Orange, in that time frame before Green Bay picked or would have picked again. And I think they got their guy. And the process too. Assuming Goody's telling the truth, which GMs sometimes lie, but if he's telling the truth and McClellan was literally like the guy that was left on their board of like a high grade at that point, then absolutely you don't care about the 5th round pick. And imagine I told you whoever your favorite 2 players were on the board at pick 52. Imagine you take one at 52 and then you get to later in the 3rd round and that other guy is there. Every single one of you would take a 5th round pick to move up to get that second guy that you liked at 52. That's exactly what Green Bay did. And I think overall that's totally fine process.
What is McClellan's RAS scored? Is it pretty high?
It was a 6. It was in the 6 range. It was not actually. This was the one that was not.
Tommy loves RAS, so
okay. Well,
Tommy is RAS.
Have you ever seen a negative RAS score when you looked at Mason Crosby's back from?
Actually,
Jeez,
Mason's got a high score. You can move him defensive end, linebacker. You can move that card all around. It's like a 9.9 everywhere you put it.
Exactly.
Do we talk about Jaden Reed? Should we ask?
Let's ask about Jaden Reed.
What was your reaction to the Reed signing, and the timing of it, and the contract and the numbers, and what does it mean for Christian Watson and others?
Means nothing for Watson. He's still going to be a priority of theirs. Means nothing for Tucker Kraft. He's still at 100.10% chance that he's going to be re-signed. I have no concerns about that. So those guys are still going to come back. As far as Reed goes, talked about this, a couple weeks beforehand of anything in that, $15-16 million range on like a 3-year 48, 3-year 50. I was all in to sign that, today. At the time I said, sign it today. That's awesome. I said, if he starts getting in that like Wan'Dale Robinson or even like the 3-year $60 million range, I'm like, that's where I'm like, all right, we probably have to start looking at maybe going in a different direction. But if you reach out to him and he's like 3 years, 50.5, and that works for both sides, I think that's a beautiful deal for Goody and Green Bay. I think if Jaden Reed would have had a really nice year this year, I think he probably would have got that 3 years, $60 million in free agency. But if he goes out and has a shoulder injury again or tears his ACL or his Achilles, he might not get 3 years, $33 million. So I think it's a really smart, sort of insurance play for Jaden Reed, where he gets $50 million, life-changing money, maybe leaves a little bit on the table if he has a good year this year. But in the meantime, gets to stick with Green Bay. They give him the $50.5 million. He's in a good spot. They have a good rapport with Jordan and him. So I think this is a really smart deal for both sides and absolutely love it for Green Bay.
And usually how they structure them, our good friend Andrew Brandt always says, it's more like a 2-year, $20 million deal, right?
Would be my expectation. So I haven't seen it yet actually come through with the actual numbers, but there's no way that you could restructure this where it looks worse in any way. Like even if it is a true, sort of 3-year 50.5, that's solid, still good value. But if it's even like a true 2-year deal where it even looks better, awesome. That's even better for the Packers.
So Andy, in a brief, like looking at just wrapping up the draft, was it a slam dunk A+ draft because of the personnel they drafted? Was it a slam dunk A+ draft because of the positional need that they drafted? Or is everyone looking at it just through a lens of, well, Micah Parsons was the 1st round pick, it was a slam dunk draft? Where do you lean in that direction when you talk about the 2026 NFL draft for the Packers?
Yeah, the first thing I would say is I would pump the brakes on just like feeling like Green Bay got a bunch of impact players that are going to help right now. I think everyone's looking at, DDS and saying like, oh, he's going to be able to, like Barron Sorrell was probably a similar or better prospect that they got in the 4th round last year. And, he had very minimal impact a year ago. Cisse is going to have to come in and compete with the other corners on the roster. They got St. Juice. Nixon's probably still going to play. We'll see what happens with Carrington Valentine. He's going to have to compete for that spot. I think McClellan is going to be a rotational piece for sure, but whether that's as a, impactful rotational piece, a lot, has to go into that. So I would pump the brakes a little bit, but I think in a draft that was considered a below average draft and not having a 1st round pick, I think what Goody really did is said, hey, we think we can really, we're not going to go home run hitting in this draft. That's probably not what we can do, but we can hit a lot of singles and we can kind of keep this thing moving in the right direction. And he hit a lot of singles and maybe some doubles at positions that they really needed. So I think when you have a
Brewers type of draft,
a Brewers when they're going well type of draft. That's how I would say it. So yeah, I think he did a really good job of managing that and just getting good players at good values at the positions that they were actually drafting at. And I like the fact too of, in a draft like this, you adding 10, 12 players in a draft where, again, it's maybe not as strong. Instead, he said, you know what, we'll take 5, 6 guys that we feel like are our types. When the DDS is sitting there, we're not going to move down. But when we want to go get a McClellan or go use 2 7ths on a kicker to get that competition going, he was willing to do so. And I'm sure he would have liked 10, 11, 12 guys, but he looked at the value of the board and got guys that he thought could really fit. I think overall, just a really solid process for Goody.
Andy, do you think that Van Ness is going to get the 5th-year option put on him, or do you think?
I do. I think to me, I kind of look at it as a little bit of irrelevance, mostly because I think you probably just sign it just to make things easy, and he's mostly trending in the right direction. It's not an exorbitant contract for that type of position and that type of player. So I think they do. If they don't, I think if he even has a good year next year, you probably get him almost in the exact same range on like a 3 or 4 year deal around that 15 million, like a 3 year 45. I would say if he doesn't get the 5th year option picked up, to me, maybe they just expedited it and just gave him like the 3 year $45 million deal now to get both sides on the same page. But to me, it's going to end up almost in the same place no matter what.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice.
Are you excited to see Tucker Kraft back on the field? I mean, just from like the few things, images, from their April workouts. I mean, the dude goes full buzz, like just crazy person, and is already looking like, ready to roll. So just give me whatever Tucker Kraft puts in his body. And I want to be a part of that.
It's just seriously like just an absolute stud, a freak. Every really good tight end needs just a little bit of the right amount of psycho in him, and he just has it in spades. And it's all good psycho. There's no bad psycho. Yeah. He's got the kip up, he's got the buzz cut, he's got the swole body now. It's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I cannot wait to see Tucker Kraft playing again.
Awesome,
love it.
Yeah, I just don't want to.
Do you have anything?
No, but I just don't want it to end. I don't want Andy Herman. I don't want to say, Andy, you've been a great guest. Thanks so much for jumping on. We'll talk to you down the road. I just want to keep going.
Andy, do you have a Matt Flynn jersey like Tommy does?
I do not have a Matt Flynn jersey. That's pretty epic though.
I don't have a Matt Flynn.
It's Jordan Love.
Andy, what's the jersey behind you? What's the jersey directly behind you that we can't see? Oh, Woodson. Okay, so nice. It is all secondary. So a Cisse number 2 would look really good right there.
Yes, I mean the nice part about these 3, Woodson, Williams, and Collins, is they were all in the same secondary at the same time. So like in a locker room scene, they were all in the same place. And then I got the number 37 up there for Sam Shields as well. I couldn't get the jersey, only 3 lockers, but wanted to get my guy Sam Shields up there too.
Thought for sure it was going to be Jarrett Bush at that time right there.
Hey, Jared Bush, top 3 favorite Packers play of all time. For somebody that was like constantly dragged by Packers fans, and he was a special teams guy that was an emergency defensive back, and to come in the freaking Super Bowl and have one of the single biggest plays in Packers history, in my opinion, in that big interception in a Super Bowl for a guy that got dragged forever, all time favorite Packers play for me.
I thought it was going to be Atari Bigby.
Oh, yeah. Ladarius Gunter got room behind you back there, Andy?
Gunter.
Never know. Never know.
That guy had a minute.
Yeah.
All right. God. Andy Herman, thank you so much for jumping on today. This is absolutely great. You are the absolute best. Keep up the great work. Follow everything Andy does, Pack a Day Podcast, and we will talk to you soon.
Can't wait. Thanks, guys.
Later.
We didn't even talk wrestling, you guys. You happy? We didn't even talk wrestling.
Yeah, so. I know. And he's not even in the. It's not like I could have threw him back.
Yeah,
he dipped immediately.
He is like, he has to record.
Mic drop.
He records 47 hours of content a day.
Yeah.
It's insane.
He had an amazing draft coverage all the way through that. I was watching him. He had, I believe, on day 3, like 3,000 people watching him live. And I'm thinking, who is watching 4th through 7th round draft coverage, let alone 3,000 people all at once? Yeah. So yeah, he's the absolute best. We know that.
No doubt. Yeah. We've got plenty to get to. We got to jump into this tech story. I don't know if we want to do it right now, or if we want to kind of do a little more research on it. But
gotta know when to hold.
Yeah, let's go into a little bit of college football.
Yeah, a little college football because we want to talk about our
sports.
I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Marquette did not have any players draft. Marquette, Wisconsin had the same number of players drafted in the NFL
like
draft.
UW-Whitewater?
UW-Whitewater, same number of players drafted in the NFL draft over this weekend as the Wisconsin Badgers.
Oh,
Man, Macintosh knew when to get out.
yeah.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. Mason, did you email me those like 10 to 12 songs that you were interested in? And nice job. Thanks.
I have not done that yet in between, being a full-time caregiver and
being a dad. Being a dad.
More broken bones coming.
Did you guys
through
win
the
get any wins this weekend?
We did not win a game.
Did you lose a game?
We did lose. Yes, we lost the game.
Was it?
If we didn't win a game.
Well, maybe you didn't have a game.
Well, maybe you learned. Sometimes you don't lose. You just
we
learn.
learned. We got better.
Did the girls learn something?
I think so. We lost 10 to 15. We're scoring some runs.
Okay, that's not no shame in that.
15 to 10 here in America. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that's such.
I forgot you though. Yeah,
you forgot I was in America.
If it's typed out,
I was in England.
If it's typed out, I get your point, Mitch. If you say it, you can say it either way.
That's
I said we
never
lost
say it.
10 to 15.
No, you lost 15 to 10. Everybody knows what you mean.
I mean,
because we live in America.
It's a hill he's
and that's
gonna
how
die
you say
on.
scores.
Yeah,
regardless.
Regardless,
Yes.
regardless,
regardless.
we got
15-10's not bad.
We got the bats hot.
Yeah.
We left. Oh my gosh! Like one of our power hitters struck out with the bases loaded in like the first inning.
Brutal.
And she was swinging for the fences. Too,
Oh yeah.
It's like
she knows.
She felt it, and it was her first at bat, and just struck out. And then she cranked 2 big ones later in the game, but we just didn't have anyone on base. But it was fun. It was good to see. Caught a fly ball. Did the stuff we just keep running into teams that all of a sudden have 3 batters that
I hate that.
Find a way to we had 3 girls on their team hit 3-run home runs.
Wow.
And that was a
huge
huge
now they're hitting them over the fence, or they just out into the outfield and past
balls.
everybody?
Yeah. And then you know how it is at that level, getting the ball into the infield and then trying to get somebody out on a non-force out play is a little tricky at 8 years old. So
Mason, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but the Wisconsin Badgers went without a selection across all 257 picks in the 2026 NFL draft, ending a 47-year streak of producing at least 1 draft pick. That's from Dylan Graff on Substack. And it was a run that dated back to 1978.
Packers couldn't have saved a 7th rounder and taken their fullback.
The Packers never take a Badger. You know that.
Show a little love. Pack.
Troy Vincent, Chris Chambers. I can go down the list of the Badgers that the Packers passed on when they shouldn't have.
Since 1978.
Yeah,
this is bottom of the barrel.
That's almost
that's rock bottom.
That feels like rock bottom.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I was kind of surprised Mason Rieger didn't go.
He's the one.
Yeah.
He's the one.
They had a lot of UDFAs that came through as well, which isn't the same. But regardless, I think that this might be rock bottom for Badger fandom. If you don't get a draft pick, McIntosh, you are lucky that you got out when you did.
Smart.
And Fickle, everyone is watching you even harder now than they already were.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is now it's like, okay, I think that kind of shocked the brain to say, okay, are there players on this team that will be draft worthy next year? Or is this a program anymore that has draft worthy players? When you look at this roster, are there 2nd, 3rd round draft picks on this roster? How do they get back to the point where you're going to have a guy that's at least sniffing the 1st round every year?
Well, and first
you got to have one player every year that has a chance, right?
And Mason, to your point, offensive line.
Yeah, exactly.
Offensive line. The NFL is littered with Badgers on the offensive line, has been for 20 plus years. And where are the offensive linemen? Tommy, where are the offensive linemen?
No, yeah, and I'm looking at a tweet that I liked, and I do this when I want to save stuff rather than, but there were, I believe, only 8 Power 5 schools in the entire country that didn't have a draft. Oh, here it is.
Colorado probably was one of them.
Colorado,
they were.
Wisconsin, Purdue.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Syracuse, Oklahoma State, who just came off their worst season ever on top of it. Virginia, West Virginia, tough day to be from the Virginias. UCLA, UNC, and Virginia Tech. Wow, no one from Virginia at all. Just getting drafted. That's great.
Did you say UNC?
It's not even a state anymore.
No Belichick players?
Right.
Isn't the whole point of him going there?
Right.
He's going to get his players into the NFL?
That's a tough sell if you're not even getting players drafted anymore. So, because I feel like they were you'd have a UNC player like get drafted.
I mean,
most
Drake
years.
May just went 3rd overall.
That's
Exactly.
Drake May to you.
Okay.
So a lot of players are undrafted
May.
free agents. Like there's a bunch of guys. Mason Rieger, went to the Dolphins. They've got a bunch of undrafted free agents. That's great, but that's not even close to the same. Like, how does Lou Fickell show his face in some of these parents' living rooms when, like, yeah, you're going to get an education, yeah, you're going to have an amazing time, but some of these players, I mean, some of these in-state guys who this year finally are coming to Madison, probably got sold like we're going to groom you for the NFL, and like then this happens. It's like, are you really? Or
tell
do you
me
just
though
suck?
too. Tell me what was wrong with the way that the Wisconsin Badgers operated. Like, like why did it need to change? Like you go and you get great offensive linemen, you control the clock, you run the ball, you play great defense, and you win, 8 to 10 games a year. Like, 7 games a year, but you're always going to be relevant. You're always going to a bowl. Like, I don't know, like the mindset of changing things that are consistent.
Well,
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And they thought they were going to get rid of the complacency of 8 to 10 wins, right?
Mhm.
And then the execution was 2-win ball. I mean, they didn't want to spend any money. They didn't spend the correct number of money, whatever it was. And now that this team can't even say that they didn't have a 7th round fullback taken at any point during this or whatever.
Running back? Like, you don't have a running back,
right?
Like, eligible for you're Wisconsin, like an offensive lineman, a running back, a linebacker, like just one of those types of positions that they're going to be gritty, tough, and everybody wants them because they are they came through Wisconsin and they did things the right way. Like that player was always an option for a team because they came through Wisconsin and they were known to do it the right way, and they played football. They were tough.
And the new savior signed this weekend, Jack Sorgi. If you guys didn't see that,
It's not the new savior.
What do you mean,
Why-
kid?
Why are you putting pressure on this kid?
That is awesome. That is all. That was one of the.
Is it?
I mean, I felt old. Old.
But
when
you
I was
didn't feel good.
Well, he's
He'll
4-star.
be
Is he
gone
4-star?
after next year.
Yeah, he's a 4-star.
He'll be
Jack.
gone.
Yeah.
Transfer portal year 1.
Wow, Mason already.
Brendan Sorsby. Just a couple. Like,
Hold
so
on,
this
real quick before that.
Sorsby.
I was
like,
a
where are
little
we at?
bummed that the Packers didn't bring in Pavia.
Oh, okay. I mean,
No.
Come on,
he's
as a
5'2"
Clown
playing
show.
quarterback.
So what? He's
Because
athletic.
you'd have to sign his brothers to some sort of deal. Like, I mean, that
Oh my
they're
god.
not messing with that nightmare.
He's going to make a lot of money in Canada one day, guys. Okay, he's get ready to learn.
Doug,
UFL,
Doug
here we
Flutie
come.
version 2.
Yeah, well, just never coming back.
Mace,
no
you ever deal with
redemption
Doug Flutie? You ever have any goings
Not
on with
anything, no significant.
He was
I mean,
he grew up in the
met
town
him.
next to mine.
Oh, nice.
And so when I was a kid, he was in high school, and it was like he was the hero
Yeah.
because he was from the Boston area, went to Boston College, and it was like he was amazing. We all
Yeah.
loved him.
So there
Motivating for everyone.
is some data, like there just keeps coming more and more out here as On3 is reporting this Brendan Sorsby story of he is taking a leave of absence from the
Yes.
football program for a gambling addiction.
Yep.
On3's Pete Nakos confirms that Brendan Sorsby placed bets on Indiana while on the Hoosiers roster back
Correct.
in 2022.
He was redshirting,
And
so he
ano-
wasn't playing.
still, I mean, come on. I mean,
I mean, you know the rules. Like, yeah.
Right.
it's
Oh,
like-
I'm not saying he didn't break the rules.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like he wasn't the starting middle linebacker.
Sure.
let's like do get something clear. And I saw that like there's no legal action here, but he is breaking the rules of sports. Like he didn't do anything illegal. He's not part of one of these gambling rings. It doesn't look like as at this point.
As well
Just more
as
personal thing.
He's entering a residential treatment program. So like that's a big deal.
As well as Sorsby attended Cincinnati Reds games on repeated occasions and placed live wagers on balls and strikes, the bets ranging anywhere from $2.50 to less than $1 per pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy just signed like an
Was he
eight.
there with the ghost of Pete Rose?
Like, what is he doing? Well, now I'm wondering, like, Clase Luis Ortiz. That was the same state, going around there.
yeah,
Just
I mean,
one pitch at a time.
Right.
He's just
You can do
throwing
that.
a buck
Yeah.
50 down.
Why not, man?
that's a problem. I'm sorry. Like, you have a problem if you are betting $2.50.
Do you think, though,
there
did
are
he-
thousands and thousands of people doing that every day in America, though.
That doesn't mean it's not a problem.
Well,
like,
then
he
the
definitely-
whole new system with gambling's a problem.
He
That's what
definitely
you're
has.
saying.
Well, his issue is that he's in a space that you just also should, like, you can't be doing those things in this, like, with all the rules in place.
Right.
And then he, like, I don't know. It's
All right.
great. Did he put himself in rehab before, though, he got investigated and caught?
That's
Or
a
is
great
this-
question.
Or is this trying to, like, soften the blow a little bit? Like, hey, I have a problem, which, again, if he does have a problem, like, go get the help you need. But sometimes those situations where it's like you got caught, now it's like trying to deaden, kind of help out the situation. Like, oh, well, I'm addicted to this.
Somebody asked if Nowakowski counts because he did play for the Badgers for 4 years before going to Indiana. No, he does not.
It does not.
Extra points are next. Is the sun coming out? This is wild. There's going to be a rainbow today. This is the Mason Crosby Show.
I love it.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right. Happy Monday. Thanks for everyone listening to the Mason Crosby Show. Thanks to Andy Herman. Thanks to Christian Yelich for jumping on.
Yeah.
We only have about a minute left, but yeah, it's weeks kicking off pretty strong here, other than some broken. We don't have confirmation,
okay.
But I guess I have this little wrist guard that she had because she broke her wrist last year.
That's no good.
And Molly said at the doctor, whenever they took that off, after swelling kind of pushed out, it looked pretty gnarly. And
Oh
she's
no.
like, yeah, just go to the specialist tomorrow, have them x-ray it.
Fifi.
It's probably broken. So her softball season is done, but we'll get her healed up. Yeah, it's always something here at the Crosby House.
She'll come back stronger.
Always, yeah.
It's like Tommy John.
It's like Tommy Works.
Is it? It's like Tommy Works coming back stronger.
Tommy,
Every day.
man, do you have the rest of the day off, Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy's got nothing.
Gosh, man, take it easy, bro.
I know we're trying
right.
to over here.
You do you. Chad
do you.
Reeder at 3:00 today with Sparky. They'll be talking NFL draft breakdown. Mason Crosby, Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Had a blast today. Let's do it again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
I was